Welcome, everyone. I would like to call this Committee of the Whole meeting on Tuesday, March 5th at 4:00 p.m. to order. May we have roll call, please?
Benajak.
Present.
Radke. Here. Nemec.
Here.
Millette.
Here.
Herrick.
Here.
Boyer.
Move to excuse.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Begic.
Here.
Quorum present.
Thank you. Everyone rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, is there any changes to the agenda? Seeing none, I need approval of the agenda.
Move to approve.
Support.
Any corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Need a motion for the minutes of 2/6/24.
So moved. Support.
Any corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. At this time, it's for public input. Is there anyone from the audience who would like to address this committee? Going once? Going twice? Public input is closed. Moving on, petitions and communications. Bay County Treasurer. Temporary hire for staff accountant.
So moved.
Support.
Is there any discussion?
Since he's here,
Yeah.
looks like it's a busy time of year for you.
It is. It is a very busy time.
Yeah.
So right now, we are in the middle of foreclosure. So we have, unfortunately, roughly 187 parcels in Bay County facing foreclosure at the moment. That is significantly behind where we were last year. A lot of that can be attributed to, last year we had 4 programs available to assist people. Namely, my half went through the state. You know, that one was paying upwards of $25,000 for a house to get people caught up. We obviously had the county program that we had a lot of great success with. So right now we're basically down to Mid-Michigan Community Action Agency. So their cap is $1,500, and that $1,500 has to pay off a year facing foreclosure. So we got a lot of work to do yet, but on top of that is also settlement time. So we're in the process of bringing over all the delinquent taxes, well now delinquent taxes for 2023 from the local units over to the county level. So we are chugging away at that. Thankfully, we've been able to hopefully continue with, as long as you guys approve this motion, bringing back Amber Wiechek to help us with that process. She's very skilled and knows the process. So a little extra training, speed the process up, and make sure we get everybody paid that needs to be paid.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Weston. Anyone else? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Environmental Affairs and Community Development Department, Forest Sustainability Program Coordinator, release of the IFBs for Spongy Moth aerial treatment application.
So moved.
Support.
Is there any discussion? Yes.
I was just wondering, like how much infestation is going on in Bay County with the spongy moth?
We can have Laura come up.
Yeah, thank you.
Squeeze it.
No.
Hi, thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
I was just wondering how much infestation is going on in Bay County with the moth.
The moth. There is monitoring that goes on throughout the winter time, and they have found a decrease from last year, but there is still an infestation. And so this contract, or this request to go out to bid, is for a contract, for a 3-year contract that would allow for 2025, 26, and 27, with an option for 28 and 29 in the event that we need to. Keeping in mind these numbers always bump up and down. Right now we're kind of on a declining trend. But the numbers are still out there. I mean, hopefully with this next year in 2024, we can suppress them to the point where we may not need to spray in 2025, but we need the contract certainly in place. Keeping in mind that many of our adjacent communities, like Gladwin is now spraying for some limited amounts. But when our adjacent communities in our northern areas, our wooded areas, our wooded lots, when they don't spray, we get impacted. Our numbers go up. And we are finding it now in our southern and eastern areas.
Okay. So if you're with a 3-year contract, then we wouldn't need them in 2025, what happens with that?
Well, the way this is written, we've been doing this for a while now, but
Okay.
the way this is written, that it's very clear, and with Amber's expertise,
Okay.
that says, if we don't need to be treated,
Okay.
we won't, and at no cost or penalty
Okay.
to us. There is that provision and that language that's very clear in there. But it really hasn't necessarily happened. Our numbers are high enough, especially with our winters where we don't have these hard killing frosts and hard winters anymore. It's just, sadly, it's been devastating for a lot of these northern heavily wooded areas. And like I said, it's moving now into we're finding it in the southern areas and the eastern Hampton woods.
Thank you.
Thank you, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, Moth.
If I remember, there was a year, though, that they didn't spray. It's been a few years back.
That you know what, that may have happened. That may have happened. It may have been like maybe 5 or 6 years. Again, this stuff is trends. These are invasive insects, and so it's not, they have trends. And so, when they first come in, which happened, I don't know, whatever, 30 years ago, they're opportunistic, right? And so their numbers explode, and then it takes us a while to respond. And so, the first treatments, they bring it back down, but then they start to build up. It's trends. And again, it happens depending on winter season, frost, a lot of different things. But I'm going to say tick season, right? It's unrelated to the forest sustainability, but because of the lack of hard killing frost and winters, we're going to have, the reports are bad season for ticks as well, fleas and ticks. So watch the dogs and cats, or not cats, but whatever, animals.
Thank you.
I've got one, Laura. Has there been any evidence of any diseases or insects coming in for the white oaks?
Yes, not here in Bay County per se. This group, there's 2 people, and they're out there monitoring for a variety of forest pests, not just in the northern heavily wooded areas, but even in our urban corridors, in our urban tree areas. But in Michigan, yes, there is an oak blight that is confirmed. And once our hardwoods start getting affected, our maples and our oaks, it's problematic, because a lot of those, right now with the spongy moth, those are pests. Those are fairly easy to be treated. You can do the aerial treatment, you can kill those off. But when you start talking about viruses and fungus, those are much more difficult to treat.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, thanks, Laura.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, seeing none, motion carries. Recreational facilities, the 2024 swim lesson partnership agreement with Essexville Hampton Public Schools for $10,000.
Support.
Is there any discussion? Yes, Moth.
Yeah, I just want to point out, this is the second year we're doing this, and there's been some concern about not having the pool, our pool, but we are making an effort for people to get the swim lessons. And I remember back, I learned that Washington Pool had swim lessons there back in the day. So, local pools are good spots for training also.
Yes.
So, thank you.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, seeing none, motion carries. The community events lease agreement for 2024 to 2028.
I'll move it.
Support.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, seeing none, motion carries. The Personnel Director, RFQ Broker Service Agreement with Workers' Compensation, Excess Insurance, and Third-Party Administrator.
So moved.
Support.
Is there any questions? Yes, Gail.
How long will this contract be? The previous one was for 6 years.
So it would depend on how bids come back. So a lot of times they're priced from a different amount per year, or if you go with a 3-year or a 5-year contract. So it would depend on how the bids are brought back to us.
Okay, because the previous one was 6 years.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, seeing none, motion carries. The Finance Officer, the analysis of the general fund equity of 2024 to receive.
I'll move it.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, seeing none, motion carries. Update regarding Executive Directive 2007-11.
Motion to receive.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, seeing none, motion carries. The Government Finance Officers Association Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financing Report.
So moved.
Support.
Is there any discussion? Yes, Juan.
I think they've gotten this before. I don't know how many years have you received it now?
Many, many years. How many decades at this point? Yes.
Keep up the good work.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Vaughn. Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, seeing none, motion carries. The staff accountant position hired at a 3-year rate at $33.75.
So moved.
Support.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, seeing none, motion carries. And the payables, the general.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, seeing none, motion carries. Is there any referrals? Is there any unfinished business? Is there any new business? Yes.
Sort of new. Since Laura's here, I received a letter about the Linwood project. I don't know if you want to update us on that Linwood project, and you got some kudos.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what letter, but it sounds really good. I can say I did go out to the Linwood Civic Improvement Club meeting last week, and they, of course, they were the local group in Linwood, right, who first came to Mr. Barsha and you folks, and Fraser Township and Coquitlam Township, asking for, new upgrades out at the Linwood Scenic Access Site. And many of their, fathers and mothers and grandparents originally worked on that site decades ago. This is like a generational site improvement. So they have a vested interest in the site, and they wanted to see that continue because even the original improvement plan had never been officially completed, because they had wanted to see, fishing access at the site and picnic tables and such. And so, after 30 years of having it exist in that condition, they figured it was time, And so anyway, yeah, we've obviously been working on it for a long time, and yes, there's been more funding that's been received. Dow Chemical Foundation has awarded the project $48,000, and the Bay Area Community Foundation received additional money from Dow Chemical Foundation. They received $43,000 for the project. That's $91,000. We are going to be doing, actually, Linwood Civic Improvement Club is going to be kind of taking the lead on a crowdfunding to raise $50,000. And but the community, we all need to, if they can raise $50,000, it'll be matched with MEDC, the Michigan Economic Development Corporation's 2-to-1. So if they can raise $50,000, MEDC will give them $100,000. not the typical 1-to-1, they will get 2-to-1. So, but they have to raise $50,000, right? If they raise $49,999, they won't get any of it. So it's important. I know there's a lot of lead work that MEDC requires, and that's kind of what they're doing right now, developing lists of people, organizations, businesses, that they can reach out to ahead of time to let them know this is happening. They'll have to do another contact and kind of get out the, and then once it launches, they'll have to do a, it's launched, kind of please donate at that point. And so, yes, that's exciting. And then we'll, the project will only be $53,000 short, but there's some pending grants that hopefully will be received, and so it seems very doable, seems very likely that the project will actually go out to bid this year yet. So.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman and Laura, I know that, Mr. Chairman, you had talked to the supervisor of Coquitlam Township.
Yes.
Was there going to be any ARP money available from the township?
Yes, at a meeting here, they donated $60,000 towards the project.
Okay.
That came from Coquitlam.
And that's included, and we're still 50,000 shy?
Thank you. Yes. Yes, it's important. Coquitlam Township voted on donating $60,000 towards this project. That's huge. And yes, that money has been booked to this project. I've hesitated to publicly talk about that because I do hear that that's kind of been some discussion out there about that. But we're counting, that project's counting on that money, and that money's been added into the column, and so,
yep.
Yes.
And then hopefully we'll put out some new bids because we only got one
yes.
contractor that bid on it last time, and the price on the seawall had doubled.
Yes.
Over a COVID period.
Yes. And since you asked for an update, I will say it was last year at this time that we went out to bid, right? It was end of March, early April that we actually went out to bid, all right? And so it was, if you think back about this time in 2023, we were just coming off of 2022. Nothing had happened, the COVID, everything had still been shut down, right? Things had, work had piled up, nothing had been happening for 2 years or 3 years. And so that's what we heard afterwards, was that, the contractors who didn't bid said, we've been, we're booked for the next 2 or 3 years, we're not going to bid on this project, it'll cost you, 3 times as much because we're busy. And so we are hoping, yes, thank you for bringing that up, that the prices, number one, will come down. Because of that, supply chain issues have sorted themselves out. Work has been, been fulfilled, and so now their schedules have opened up. Labor shortages have been resolved. Materials costs have come down, and so all sorts of things. Water levels have come down, and so all sorts of things are in our favor right now. And so, thank you for asking that question. I hesitate to even talk about it, but.
Well, thank you, Laura. I know how hard you've worked on it and how long you've worked on it, and you've single-handedly raised almost all the money for the project, so we're deeply grateful.
Well,
can't wait to get that project underway.
Off the books. Yes, and thank you, thank you. I have to say, the $110,000 donation from the ARPA funds from this board was huge, and it came at a time, came at a time that was really critical because it had stalled, right? Donations had stalled, and that's what it takes is a donation that then other people get involved and can see it as a viable project. So anyway, and you will be hearing other things, right, when the project is ready to move forward. So thank you.
And if I recall on that, it was $400,000 for 400 feet.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right.
It was
$1,000 a
$1,000 a
linear
foot.
foot for seawall, right?
Yes.
For 12 inches of
Yes.
steel seawall, that's crazy.
That was
I mean,
a lot.
how does that happen, right? Okay.
So steel prices are coming down, so I think.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you,
All right,
Laura.
thanks. Yep.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Okay, Amber, is there a need for closed session?
There's not, Mr. Chair.
Any miscellaneous? Any announcements?
I have a
Oh,
miscellaneous.
Go ahead.
I found out today that the body scanner came into the sheriff's department today or yesterday, one of the last 2 days. So they're going to be working on getting that. All these people got to come in from all over to make the thing work. None of us would be a bit, I think Vaughn might be able to put it together, but I couldn't. So they got to make it fit and they get trained, but that'll be a great addition to the sheriff's department. I'm sure in a couple of weeks when they get it running that somebody will come in and tell us exactly how it's working.
Yes.
So
Thank you, Tom. We'll have that happen. Thank you.
That's
Anyone
all.
else? Okay, announcements. Yes, Kristen.
I just want to let you guys know the second Puck of the Irish is this weekend. We have 26 teams coming in. These are the older kids that play full ice, 10, 12, and 14U. 26 teams, everywhere from the UP to the West Side, Lansing, and we have our first Ohio team coming in.
Nice.
So we're pretty excited about that. So if you guys want to see hockey this weekend, games start at 8 o'clock Friday, run till about midday, almost dinner time on Sunday.
Good.
Thank you, Kristen. Anyone else?
No?
Casey? What's next? Oh,
motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.